My name is Jayani. I'm a makeup artist full-time. I do it for a living. Your mind frame has to change being self-employed, because there's no longer a set wage coming in every month. If you do X amount of hours, you could make loads of money or you could make no money, and there's a real roller coaster. Comes with a bit of discipline, but you have to be very disciplined in the sense of you have to be willing to work and willing to want to go to work. It's different. You don't have a structure, but it depends. That works for some people, it doesn't work for other people. I like routine. So it took me a while to adjust. And especially in terms of income and money, I was used to having a set wage. Whereas when you're self-employed, you can make sure you have a set wage. You can be like, right, I need to do X amount of people to earn this amount of money. Being self-employed is that there's no kind of off button, there's no business hours. I then did A-levels and I did biology, chemistry and art. So like completely random, but I always love science. So I definitely say that biology and chemistry helped me with my job now. I think that having a science background really helped in terms of not just being creative, but in terms of ingredients and knowledge and skincare. And I enjoyed art. That's why I did art at GCSE as well. Then after A-levels, I went on to university and I did biomedical sciences. So totally nothing to do with my job. But the reason that I did biomed is because you can go into a lab and work on investigating ingredients. So I could go to like L'Oreal or like huge pharmaceutical companies, which is what all the makeup brands are owned by, and I could test ingredients. I can develop ingredients and products. So for me, I was always thinking about makeup, but not just being a physical makeup artist, and it was always an interest. So I kind of developed a hobby into a career, and I always did makeup. So it really, had I not gone to university, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. You can do a degree in makeup. I think that's insane, because it's so good because you can learn so much and you're just covering yourself, and you're going to learn as much as you can from people who are in that industry. So going to university, I then discovered MAC, and I, was like, oh my God, what is this? Why have I not discovered this? So in going to university, I then started working at MAC, which you have to be qualified for. I wasn't qualified. I'd just done makeup since I was 14. I had a portfolio. So I started the other way around. I was assisting my aunt, who was a makeup artist. So I just did it for fun, but I'd done shoots and shows and I kind of had a background in it. And that enabled me to get a job at MAC. And then I developed further and I still carried on at university. But it was kind of like me working there made me realise, oh my God, I can do this for a job. This can be a career. And I never had realised that until I went to university. After about 6.5 years, I was at MAC and I kept cutting down my days. So I went from like 5 days to 4 days to 3 days. And I was like, I actually am too busy with my private work to now be in MAC. And I just got to a point where I just thought, I don't need to be in retail anymore. But it was a really scary step because I'd always been self-employed part-time. And I'd always had a wage, so I'd always been employed. So, I didn't have the luxury of being like, right, if this doesn't work, it's okay, I've got this or I've got that. It was like make or break. And I'd kind of got to 6 years and gone, right, well, this was 6 months. And now I've done 6 years working for someone else. I now need to progress my own career. So after 6.5 years for another company, I was like, I'm going to take the leap. I'm just going to do it. And then I went freelance full time. And that was about 8 years ago. I think you have to be able to adapt to your surroundings, because your job not necessarily is going to be in one place all the time. To be a makeup artist, I think you need to be quite personable, as in you're going to meet all different types of people from all different walks of life. So I feel like you have to be able to kind of get on with everyone and anyone. You have to be able to adapt to different types of people. So sometimes people aren't going to talk to you, and that's absolutely fine. And sometimes you're going to have a very demanding client. You're going to be in a pressurized environment, so you have to be quite a calm and stable person that's going to be like, right, it's okay, we can get on with this, it's not a problem. I think timekeeping is amazing if you're good at timekeeping, because you have to be on a set or on a job or, at people's houses. because, you know, you need to be efficient and on time and know that, right, this makeup's going to take me 45 minutes. On a shoot, there's a photographer, hair, makeup, everyone's working hand in hand, so you need to be able to work under time constraints. I think you need to be creative. Like, obviously that's a given, but you need to be able to be creative and get inspiration from everywhere. So not just being a makeup artist and like flicking through a magazine, go outside and see the trees, or like, you know, sometimes I go to galleries and I look at paintings and I'm like, wow, that blending's amazing. How can I use that in my job? Or how can I adapt those skills? You need to constantly be learning. And I think that comes with experience. Like, I've done makeup for 17 years. I'm still learning every single day. So I think it's important to push yourself to find different ideas or different avenues. Or like, you know, go to events or go to other things, or like paint, or just do things that push you. I think that's really important as a makeup artist. Like, you have to be quite well-rounded and not just stuck in one thing, and find different things that work for you, whether you like doing weddings. Some people just do wedding makeup. Some people prefer doing beauty makeup. Find what works for you. Being self-employed, I have no structure. I do and I don't. So my diary is a different, every day of every week is different. The only one day I'm in one place is a Saturday, because it's the busiest day of the week. So I'll be in a salon in one place. But the rest of my week, I could be anywhere at any time. So I could be out of the country, I could be in a different part of England, I could be in Monaco. So I really, really am kind of all over the place, but in a good way. So my diary is very flexible and open. And like today, I've been in Kensington, and then I was in Romford, and now I'm here. So it's like, it's very flexible. So I think that's the difficult part of being self-employed, but that's my choice. I could make my diary, you know, the benefit of being self-employed is you can say no. So I could say, right, I'm not working a Sunday and a Monday, and those are my days off, and I'm going to be really strict, and I'm going to stick to it. Be able to transform someone and make them feel beautiful, but that not just in like an aesthetic way, but inside, and make them feel confident, I think is an amazing like part of my job. And you know, when you're part of people's like wedding days, and they're like, oh, they you know, your wedding photos your parents show you, or like your family like pass around and people see, and I think, you know, on social media, people look at you and go, oh my God, did you see Billy Fairs when blah blah blah, when they got married? They looked amazing. And people always analyse, oh God, their hair looks nice, and I liked her dress, and I think being able to be a part of that is incredible. But also, in the same token, I meet so many women, especially, who aren't confident, and you know, just being able to put on, okay, yeah, it's makeup, it washes off, but just being able to put it on for them and making them see themselves and feel beautiful, I think, like, for me, it's like, it's an amazing thing, because they're just so happy, and I think, oh my God, it's just a bit of bronzer, it's just a bit of this, but they feel incredible about themselves. And the same thing, I'm so grateful and so happy because I work for myself, so I can do anything I want to do. I choose to be this busy. I choose to work like a lunatic because I love my job. If I didn't love my job, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And I think when you have job satisfaction, you can just, I will work crazy hours. Like next week, I'm up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I won't get home till like 9, 10 at night. If I didn't enjoy my job, I would not be able to do that. And I think I have so many friends or people that I know who aren't happy in their jobs or careers, and it becomes a chore. And I think like I'm really, really grateful and thankful that I have a job that I enjoy, because I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. Like, no way. It is hard work. I do think being self-employed, nobody realises the challenges that you face, especially when it's your own business and like you, in terms of like you're a one-man band. Like you can be self-employed and employ people, but when it's you, I think people don't realise the pressure involved and like that aspect. So you've not only got, you know, the deadlines to get to clients, to meet them, to be on time, to do what the client wants, to meet their expectations. That's just doing my actual job, and doing makeup is one aspect. There's 50 million others. Managing my diary, but that's fine. I'm got to a point where I'm really lucky where I've now employed someone. So that was really stressing me out, because I got to a point where I was like, I feel like all I do is work. I get up in the morning, I'm doing emails, texts, calls, this. I'm out the house, like I'm traveling all over the country and the world. And then I'm coming home and I'm sitting down on my phone, I'm eating dinner, and like I had no work-life balance. So I've really found it challenging initially to have a work and life balance. on a daily basis. It could be anyone. I could be speaking to someone who's in PR, who's like, hey, we've got an event for a skincare brand next week. Would you like to come? Which is amazing. It's always good to like meet these people. You never know who someone is or who they know. I think it's really important to be personable because people will book you based on you. So these people that I meet and I work and interact with, they're like, God, you're such a lovely person. You're wonderful. You were really helpful. The shoot did run over by an hour and you didn't charge us any extra, or you were willing to go the extra mile. Those types of people, like photographers, hairstylists, if they remember you because you were a nice person or you had a great personality and you're personable, they're more likely to work with you again or recommend you. And it might be in a year's time or 3 months' time. I could be dealing with a hairdresser that has a really high profile client, who then could introduce me to another high profile client. So it really is a mixture of people. In terms of makeup, it's more like photographers, other makeup artists. You know, I have makeup friends that if I can't do a job, I'll pass things on to them, and it can go in your favour and it can work against you. But I just think if someone likes you, they will always be with you and they will always return. If anyone's new and up and coming and just starting out in their profession, I'm like, get Instagram. Do your job, you know, promote it, show your skills, practice. It's like a free advert, a free personal website. I think it's really good to collect a portfolio to discover how far you've come, to see your journey. Because what I thought was really good years ago, you know, I look back now and think, oh my God, that wasn't very good. But it was okay because you're learning. So I think a portfolio is great for development. I still have, you know, when I work with big brands or companies, they still want to see my CV. They still want to see my portfolio. There's nothing like having physical evidence. So even though, I think because I'm older and I'm old school, even though I have my Instagram as my portfolio, I still have like an old school book, which I could probably update, but like of pictures and things that I've done, because it's always just good to have that. It's never too late. Just because there's loads of makeup artists out there now, it doesn't mean that you can't be successful. There's plenty of work for everyone. Don't send anything for too long. So I was at a company for way too long. I don't regret the experience I gained from it, but I kind of think it's best to go into a brand, do your time, and then kind of get out and keep focused and keep moving forward. Don't reply when you're angry. Or if you've got a difficult person you're dealing with, or a difficult client, because you will be in these situations where you're put on the spot, or it's difficult to deal with, or you don't want to deal with it. I think sometimes it's better to be like, I'm going to take 5 minutes, walk away and have my own space, or put your phone down and go, right, I'm not going to deal with this for 10 minutes and I'm going to look at it with a fresh head, because more often than none, that can have a knock-on effect on the client, and then that can affect your business. And learn, keep learning. Like, my biggest advice is don't stop learning. Just because you've been to college or just because you've been to uni, don't stop learning. Like, I learn every single day. I learn new things from TV shows, from clients, from YouTube, from other makeup artists. And I think, like, it doesn't have to cost money to learn. You know, I pay to go to masterclasses, but you can learn for free on YouTube. But there is so much advice out there, and there is so much knowledge that you have to interpret it in your own way. So I'm saying, do what's best for you. Don't go out there and go, right, this person does this, so I'm going to copy that. Take it and have your own identity and be true to yourself. So if you know your strengths, work on them. And if you know your weaknesses, work on them as well. Do makeup on your friends. Practice, 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 practice. I've been doing makeup for 17 years. I'm fully booked 7 days a week. I'm really established. I'm really, really lucky and grateful for. Some days, if I have a day off, I try and do it at least once a month, but I have a creative day where I'll either do crazy makeup on myself, or I'll get a model and try and book a photo shoot, and I'll just go and be crazy and creative for the day to help me feel like I'm not doing the same thing all the time. So I think just push yourself constantly to learn, to get more knowledge, push yourself in terms of skill and ability, and just never give up. It's a really, really amazing industry and an amazing job, but you can be really disheartened because you may not get the job you want to go for. You know, you may be pushed back or have setbacks, or, you know, you never know what's going to happen. But the good thing is there's always going to be work. If you love what you do, it won't feel like work. And just keep pushing, and just don't give up. Follow your dreams. Don't give up. Go to an accredited school. Like London College of Fashion is amazing. It's a really famous, well-known makeup school, and they do degrees, they do BTECs, they do weekend courses, evening courses. They're more expensive, but the level of teaching you're going to get and what they're going to help you with afterwards in terms of recommending you, I'd say go to a good school, and then whilst you're getting your education, work on a makeup counter, you know, start off being in retail and just getting experience, you know, with meeting different people from different walks of life, different skin tones, complexions, doing different jobs. You could even assist people, like if you see a successful makeup artist, being like, hey, do you need an assistant? I'll work for free. You know, a lot of it initially is offering your services or learning. You know, the biggest makeup artists out there have like 3 or 4 assistants at one time. So just learning or using your free time productively to progress in your career. So I think that would be my best advice. Like that would be the path to go down, definitely.